Hey there, fanboys, fangirls. It's your host, the other Luke, back from just like Luke Skywalker. I've kind of gone missing for a while. I've grown. I've come one with the Force more. I've gained knowledge and power, but also getting back into the swing of things. I have a good friend of mine, Sean, who's wanting to get into podcasting. So we fired up the old recorder and we're back at it again. Why don't you tell him who you are, Sean?
Hello, everybody. I'm Sean. I consider myself a Marvel buff, if you will. I love the movies, love the books, but my first love is probably Star Wars. That's where it's at, in my opinion. But yeah, that's my background. Everything nerdy. I'm a DC too, as far as like Batman and Superman and all that. That's the comics I read. Films, I also enjoy those too. But I'm Team Marvel for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'd probably side with you there because the first comic series that I ever got into was Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man. That's where I started too.
And then just kind of branched out.
Yeah, I think it was the '90s cartoon that got me hooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was it. So speaking of Spidey, he had an appearance in this new trailer and the past new trailers. So let's get on to the topic for today. Civil War. And no, it's not the big tragedy, North versus South. It's the Iron Man versus Captain America.
Woohoo! Yeah, you got Team Iron Man, which consists of Iron Man, Black Panther, Black Widow, War Machine, and Vision, versus Team Cap, which is Captain America, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Winter Soldier, and the Falcon. You know what? I'm forgetting someone. Ant-Man is also on Team Cap.
Yep.
He totally slipped my mind because he's still fairly new MCU hero.
That's probably one of the Marvel movies that I've watched the most here recently, Ant-Man. Just because of the comedy in it.
Yeah, what's his name? Paul Rudd did a fantastic job, I think. So did Michael Douglas, and I didn't really know they were going for the Scott Lang. I was kind of hoping it'd be Hank Pym, but I liked how they did it.
Yeah, it was interesting because I didn't know much about him, but I knew a little bit of the backstory of the character, and I knew that from what little I did know, knew that they were definitely taking a different approach. And I mean, I thought it worked out really well. It was cool how they set everything up, and they had the flashback, and you got to see Carter there. That was kind of like okay, so here's what these guys have been doing.
Oh yeah, they did a fantastic job. I mean, that's really all Marvel does is fantastic with their films. Well, if you want to get into the comics versus the film from what we've seen from the trailers?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Okay. Well, in the comics, if you don't know, there was a battle between the New Warriors and Nitro. I don't know too much about the New Warriors or Nitro, but the town where they were fighting, they ended up there was a huge explosion that killed 600 in a small town, and a lot of them were children. Actually, at school, I remember they had a panel of kids you saw the explosion in the background, and you knew they were not going to make it. Anyway, and that's how the government comes up with the Superhero Registration Act, where every superhero mutant would have to register with the government their secret identity. And let's see here. In the film, from what I've got from the trailers, is the Superhero Registration Act is being put forth because of the events that happened in the Avengers in New York, with the what are they called? The aliens, the Chintamari, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. What happened in New York, and then the events in Age of Ultron with the Ukrainian town. I'm horrible with these names, but what happened there at the end of Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I've got from the trailers.
Yeah, I was looking it up. It's the Chitauri.
Chitauri, there we go.
Yeah. I had to do a little quick search real quick.
That was close.
But that's fine. There's so much information that you get thrown at you. And like, you've got all this, it goes back with Star Wars and everything with Legends and stuff. You've got all this original content, but now we're making new content loosely based off the original content. And so you've got all this information that you've got to try to, keep up with, but, not get too attached to, because then you get too attached to it, and if it's not in the movie, well then you become that angry fanboy that's just bashing everyone down behind his keyboard,
Right, yeah. I've been known to kind of keep my hopes up high when it comes to seeing my favorite characters on the big screen and it being completely different. Now, I'm not a hater, but, like when they redid the Amazing Spider-Man, I was kind of, they're going to make Peter Parker a skateboarder, and that's not who he is. But I ended up liking those two movies. And Andrew Garfield did a fantastic job, I thought, as Spider-Man and the quips and all that.
Yeah.
But I've been known to hate, drink the haterade every now and then.
Yeah, especially with how much they built up for the sequel there, and no delivery.
Yeah. Yeah. So General Ross was also in I think the first trailer. I think it was the one they released during the Super Bowl. If you remember, the last time we saw him was in the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if, this is my thought that his, I guess, hate, well, I don't really remember how the Hulk ended, but he really didn't like the Hulk. And I'm thinking, after the events of the Avengers and Ultron, they added fuel to the fire, and he's the one putting forth the Registration Act. But I could be wrong, and that's just my thought.
Hey, that's all we can do is right now is just kind of sit here and wonder and speculate, what may happen.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing with the events of Winter Soldier, with Hydra being now in the spotlight. It just makes you think: is he also working with Hydra, and are they the ones pulling the strings, trying to get this to happen? Because like you said, it could be completely different from the books, how they portray it in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? That's my speculations, because I think Hydra's got a part in this, and
more than likely. I mean, because it's always seemed to kind of have its hand in everything,
Right. Yeah.
And so they could definitely be behind it.
Oh yeah. Now, in the second trailer, I noticed that they had Stark walking around like what seemed to be a prison cell. And then they also showed something coming out of the water, where I think that's referencing to the Raft, which is the high-tech prison in the comics where supervillains and all that get sent. Now in the comics, Tony and his team send the superheroes who don't agree with him to the negative zone. I forget the prison name in the books, but obviously that's more of the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards set that up, so they're not going to touch on that. That's why the raft is where I think that is, and that's something I noticed from the trailer.
Yeah, that's one thing that I am upset about with this whole split custody over the Marvel properties, is not being able to, because I would just love for, with what Disney's doing, to be able to put Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Galactus, do them justice,
Right, yeah. Galactus has like a giant cloud.
Right?
That was a bummer.
That was so sad. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Silver Surfer looked awesome. Like, the effect, he looked good. But
Oh, yeah.
Galactus, I mean, cloudy with the chance of lame.
Yeah, it was a huge letdown there. Now, I totally forgot about Ant-Man in the lineup, but I think the trailer, one of the more recent ones, they show Hawkeye shooting him with one of his arrows, which I absolutely love that.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's showing them, not only it's with teamwork, but they're more, hey, put me on the tip of your arrow and shoot me an Iron Man.
Yeah, on their feet,
Yeah, and it's clever, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the trailer 3. They show when Scott Lang meets Captain America and his team. It really got to me because he was pretty much me. Like, if I met Captain America, I would be like, oh, he ended up like feeling his arms and like, oh,
yeah.
That's me.
Right.
Yeah, and
it's like when we met Stan Lee.
Yeah, that was yeah, that was a good time there. But I love that, and he did it. Again, Paul Rudd as a superhero, I think, is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, this is not confirmed, but I have a feeling we might get to see Giant Man in this film. If it be for an extended period of time or maybe an end fight scene, I believe he is going to be part of it. Reason being is if you collect action figures, the Marvel Legends Hasbro line, the Build-A-Figure for that is Giant Man in the Ant-Man current MCU costume.
And also, there is the Giant Man pop as well.
That's true. I didn't think about that, but yeah.
Which I could not find.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with that.
I can find the regular Ant-Man figure, but I can't find the Giant Man one. But it exists because it was in the Pop's article that they released. So,
yeah. Oh,
that's one of those things that I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe the toy line may have something to do with it. But, as we've seen from Star Wars, just because you get a toy made doesn't mean you're in the movie that much.
Right. Or you'll be a background character.
Right. So, who's to say that Giant Man might be like, I mean, it could be something that happens, but it could be like, it doesn't happen till like the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie, and it's like, a short thing, but it's like super epic, and it's like, it's everything you want it to be, but it's, it's short and sweet. But then the next time you see him, it'll be more. You'll see it more played,
Right, yeah. Yeah. These Marvel Legends, though, these action figures, they're super hard to find, some of them, and you got scalpers that go and buy up all the ones that resell them online for a crazy price. It kind of puts a damper. But I mean, it's always fun to go toy hunting and try your luck. But
yeah, and I've wanted to get into getting some of the Legends, but I just don't have any luck here because I live like in a tourist area, and it just feels like everything around here is just always out of everything. And if you find something, it's usually damaged.
Yeah. Yeah, here, the town I'm in, it's just, it's kind of, I think it's just me that's all into this, but you go to these stores and they're all sold out of what you're looking for. You're like, it's not just me, is it?
Right?
Yeah. Which I'm a huge collector of the Marvel Legends action figures. So, every time I find one, I've got to get it or put it on my list.
Yeah, here recently I've kind of gotten into I wouldn't say a pop addiction, but my pop collection has increased.
Oh yeah, those pops, they're everywhere. And with me, I have a few, and I'm kind of picky about them. They've got to be bobbleheads. I don't like the ones that they're just like little. You can turn the heads, and that's the only point of articulation. They've got to be the bobblehead for
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a character I really, really want for it not to be a bobblehead.
Yeah, that's pretty much like the only ones I only get like certain ones like say the Rick Grimes. I have all of Rick Grimes because that's one of the cosplays that I do. So I just collect all of his. I've started collecting all the Flashes because I have like Reverse Flash from the show. I have the Flash from the show, and then I have Arrow as well,
Yeah.
and then I have Deathstroke. So kind of doing that set, and then but I don't have like Felicity or Captain Cold or any of those.
Those are probably hard to find.
I know. Oh no, those are everywhere.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, I must not be looking in the right place.
I found my roommate found a Voltron, and we snagged it.
Yeah, I've seen the Voltron. Looks pretty cool. Okay, back to Civil War.
Back to it.
Of course, this is the big one. In my opinion, the big reveal was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was excited to see him in the trailer, but we heard he was going to be in the film, and I kind of would have rather had seen him for the first time in the theater as opposed to in the trailer, because I think that's just I was excited to see him, and I wanted to see him on the big screen and not the TV.
Yeah.
But he's finally in the MCU. Yay.
Yeah.
New actor, Tom Holland, if I'm not mistaken. That's who he is. The big reveal, the thing that stood out to me were his eyes and how they were animated, how they squinted and they reopened.
Mm-hmm.
Love that, because in the comics, that's his eyes really do that.
Yeah. I thought that was a cool addition.
Yeah, super glad they did that. Yeah. Tom Holland, I believe, is going to bring a younger rendition of Peter Parker's and Spider-Man, with the clips and the jokes. The latest trailer had him actually in a fight scene with Winter Soldier, and
yeah.
he catches the punch and he's like, "Oh, dude, you got a metal arm, cool, dude." And, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The suit, I'm not quite sold on it. Besides the eyes, I have some, I guess I'm nitpicky. The stripes, he seems to have stripes on his arms and his leg.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
The spider symbol was a little bit smaller than I would have liked, but granted,
Mm-hmm.
in the comics, it wasn't huge. But it was noticeable. I could barely see it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you're saying, that's pretty much the exact same way. Like, I really enjoyed the eyes. And, I mean, I like the color scheme. I mean, I'm not saying I'm against, the addition of the black. It's just, I don't know, it's different, having the stripes. So, I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying at first.
It's going to have to grow on you.
Right.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah, and with, what is it, the Homecoming is going to be the title of the Spider-Man standalone in the MCU. So, hopefully we get a little bit more background story as to how he made the suit and, all that good stuff. But I also, you got to watch these trailers 100 times to catch stuff like this. But he's wearing a utility belt in the it's there if you watch this frame by frame, you can see it.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with that. I wish it. I guess.
Think it's his cartridges.
It's got. It's got his web cartridges, no doubt. Now it's out of his suit. It looked like, so it's kind of like a belt. Hence utility belt. It's out of his suit. In the comics, it's kind of, he conceals it with his suit. It's on the outside in the movie, from what I've seen. But that's just me being nitpicky, I guess, again. But yeah, it looks like we're going to get web shooters, and that was one thing from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans that kind of was weird to me, that he shot him out of his wrist organically. I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm super excited to see him in the MCU now. Thank you, Sony and Marvel, for working your whatever powers that may be. Next out, we'll talk about is Black Panther. Do you know much about Black Panther or anything?
I know a little bit. There's not too much that I know. I know about what's his name from Age of Ultron.
Ulysses Claw.
Yeah,
You're thinking.
Mm-hmm. It's something to do with his father. Wasn't his father also Black Panther before?
Yeah.
And he kind of takes up the helm for him, whenever his father dies, or something happens to his father.
Yeah, in the place where Black Panther's from, it's an African country called Wakanda. It's known for its vibranium, because that's where the vibranium.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the highest concentration of vibranium is in Wakanda. So in the comics, when I don't remember how he dies, but T'Challa is what's his name? His father gets killed, and he takes the place of Black Panther. His father was the original Black Panther, and then he takes the helm after his father dies. That's just my understanding. I don't know. It's Black Panther. It's mystical type stuff, and I don't really know all much about that. But from the trailers, they show an explosion of a building, and then they show what's his name? Chadwick Boseman, the guy who's going to play Black Panther. They show him kind of on the ground getting up all dirty. That's me. I got from that is his father is going to get killed in that explosion, I'm going to say he's like a UN delegate or the ambassador from Wakanda, and he's over in New York or wherever, doing whatever with this Registration Act or whatever it is, and he gets killed in that explosion. Hence, he becomes the new Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super excited they're introducing him, the Black Panther, this way in the Civil War movie, because we're going to get a standalone later. Not sure the year when we're going to get the movie, but I know a little bit enough. I know enough about him that it's not going to bother me that we haven't got a standalone film yet. And I'm excited to see him in this movie. Also, his suit, there's a trailer where a helicopter is shooting him. He's on a rooftop fighting the Winter Soldier, and he's getting shot at by a helicopter, and the bullets are just bouncing off of him. They're not even affecting him.
Yeah.
That, for me, I get that the suit is made out of vibranium, which, that's Cap Shield's made out of vibranium, so it's pretty much indestructible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found his name. It's T'Chaka.
T'Challa, yeah, that's his name. And yeah, that's Black Panther. I'm excited to see him alongside, Spider-Man. in this new movie, because they're two. Those are the two big ones, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that are new to the MCU.
Yeah, this it's funny. This I was reading that, found this article where it just kind of gives you kind of the lowdown on everything you need to know about Black Panther before seeing the movie, and it was just like he's essentially Marvel's answer to Batman.
To Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought Iron Man was. Well, then again, I don't know the years they came out, but
it's just it says here he's incredibly skilled in armed and unarmed combat.
Right. Okay.
And they both have black suits, pointed ears.
I could see it. I just thought the Iron Man was more comparable to like the Bruce Wayne and the rich guy made a suit, knows how to fight and that kind of thing. But yeah, I guess I can see Black Panther kind of combating against Batman. Next is Crossbones. I honestly know nothing of this character except for what we saw in Winter Soldier, the fight Falcon. If I'm remembering correctly, Falcon fights the soldier who was in charge of the guys who beat up Captain America in the elevator in that movie, and the building blows up and collapses with him still in it. That's the same guy who's playing Crossbones, and I don't know anything about that character really. Besides his suit, I like his suit. His suit looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that also again leads me to believe Hydra's got to have some kind of their hand in this, behind the scenes. And it's just kind of weird. Or it's what his role is going to be is still kind of in the air. Winter Soldier, he's been in a lot of the trailers too. But the big thing is, where has he been? Obviously, he's been on the run since Winter Soldier. But where exactly? What has he been doing? How has he been coping with what his fight with Captain America and the memories he's had after that? There's a scene in the trailer. It was the first trailer I believe we saw where it's Bucky and it's Captain, and they're talking, and he's got his arm in some kind of, I guess, vice grip thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where it looks like he's trying to pull his arm off, or something. That's just what I'm thinking, and it's why is his arm in that thing? Is it did Captain America and Falcon do that, or did they find him there like that? What's going on?
Yeah, like what was the 5 minutes before that or whatever, what led up to that moment?
Right. Not kind of wrap this thing up, but what team are you on? Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
I'm right now. My stance is Team Cap.
Your Team Cap.
Yeah.
Why are you leaning that way?
Why? Well, see, I've always just knowing. I'm going to say just knowing how the teams end up may have a bit of play, but Captain America and Spider-Man have always kind of been those two that I've kind of not only enjoyed but related to when it comes to Captain America, because even Chris Evans says that he used the Boy Scouts and the Eagle Scouts motto and that basis to kind of create this version of Captain America. And I just think that's kind of a cool connection that I have with how he created that character,
Right, yeah, your life stories and, kind of being put on with Captain America. Yeah, me too. I'm Team Cap. Mostly because I know the comics and Spider-Man, spoiler alert, he switches sides. And I was Team Cap before even Spider-Man joined him, because I think that with superheroes, they've got to keep their identities a secret. So their loved ones, nothing harm or death comes to their loved ones. that's why I'm the team cat, because, you know, you put it out there, hey, I'm Peter Parker and I'm Spider-Man. You know, you could Google him nowadays, Peter Parker, who is he? You know, Ben
Right.
Parker was shot by such and such, survived by May Parker, and it's, you know, that puts immediate family, friends, where, you know, it's with nowadays information's easy to get a hold of, and that's why I'm team Cap, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your final thoughts that you think is going to happen? Do you have anything predictions, theories, or anything of that matter?
Right now, honestly, it's kind of all up in the air. I don't really know what all to expect, because again, I know a little bit from what's happened in the comics, and then also a little bit from the Ultimate Alliance games, and kind of having a little bit of that, which I know, you know, isn't completely the exact, but, you know, I'm sure that there's some key aspects from that may, you know, play a role in this movie. But honestly, I'm just excited to know that we finally have a Spider-Man that's going to stay.
Right.
Because every time that we've had him, you know, with Tobey Maguire, we got to 3, and, you know, we could have gone.
We don't talk about 3.
I know.
We don't talk about 3.
But we didn't get past it. That was it. We just had the 3. And then we had, you know, with Andrew Garfield, we had the 2. And then we had the huge setup for a big third one. And then they're like, no third one, Disney, have Spidey back. It's like,
yeah,
it's like they just ran up to us, slapped our ice cream out of our hands, and then just gave us a slice of pizza instead. You know?
Yeah, I was, the way they built up the end of the Amazing Spider-Man, I was pumped to, you know, see Vulture, which we haven't seen in the movies.
Right.
You know, who else? They had the Doc Ock's arms, but we've seen him in the Tobey Maguire movies.
Mm-hmm.
We barely got a glimpse of Alistar Smite. You kind of got to catch that during the actual film. And then the Rhino, we've never seen him in film, and we got him at the end of that one, which the trailers for that one led up to that fight with being huge, and it was just like 5 seconds.
Right? It was just like, hey, look at this awesome fight. Oh, it's just at the very end of the movie.
Right, and then I'm glad that Disney now has Spider-Man in the MCU, and it's theirs again. Super happy about that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about wraps it up.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll have some thoughts and things after it's out. And what I think we're going to start doing is we're going to at least do 2 episodes per big, you know, big blockbuster releases, as far as when it comes to comic book related movies, sci-fi movies, things like that. So, you know, for the Civil War, you know, we have our pre-movie talk, and then we'll have another one whenever it's out on Blu-ray, and we'll do a commentary. And
right.
what we can start doing is, you know, with Star Wars, well, of course, you know, we didn't get to have one for Episode 7, but we can do a commentary for 7, and then starting with Rogue One, you know, we can do, you know, a few weeks before Rogue One releases, we can do a pre-show for it, and then, you know, again, for Rogue One, we're probably going to do another show the day it releases, you know, depending on where we're both at, you know, if we get to see the release at the same location, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool things coming out for the show, getting back in the swing of things, so just bear with us. And yeah, until next time, may the Force be with you.
Always.